So for thing number one, jaw dropper. See what we did there? Haha. So the NBA playoffs are peaking right now. The Warriors and the Grizzlies is a heavyweight fight, and we might be seeing the greatest guard of the generation in Steph Curry taking on the next best guard in the next generation in Ja Morant. It's awesome. And of course, the other semis are also filled with tons of intrigue, but I do think there's an even bigger story here, Andy. So according to Front Office Sports, Game 1 of Warriors-Grizzlies was the most watched NBA semifinal game in over a decade, Andy.
Ooh.
The NBA's next generation is taking over and people are watching. And also, I think it is a fair point to point out that the last two NBA playoffs were at odd times with COVID, but it does feel like the league is finally back on track and better than ever. My spicy question for you, Andy, though, does the league still need LeBron?
Ooh, that is a spicy one. And no, it doesn't. We're showing that right now we got Steph Curry versus Ja Morant. I mean, this series right now, there are 2 games in, and it's been unbelievable. Ja Morant, 47 points the other night, 22 years old, this kid. And you know, what says a lot about the series is it keeps me up past midnight. Usually Jeopardy ends, I'm old. Right off to bed I go. But the other night I'm up to 12:30 watching Ja and Steph go head to head. It's like the series that just keeps on giving. I hope it goes 7 games. We've had all the storylines. We got Draymond ejected in the first game. We've had ejections in the second game. There might be suspensions. There's some, talk back and forth between Ja and Steph. It's just perfect. The league is great right now. All the other series are really fun too, but this Grizzlies-Warriors thing is great. And it's just awesome to have the Warriors back, right? They weren't in the playoffs the last 2 years. We need to have Steph Curry in these big moments. We need Draymond in these big moments. We need Klay Thompson in these big moments. So the NBA right now, perfect.
From the court to the ice, we move on to thing number 2. Let's do the hockey. So Andy, I know you're a big time Bruins fan.
Come on, Bruins, let's go.
My entire production team is pretty much a Caps fangirl base. Of course, my Blackhawks, we can't talk about them right now, but playoff hockey is here, and we've already seen full-out brawls. We've seen triple overtime games at the Garden. It's been lovely. This is the first time in almost 2 decades that the NHL has even been on ESPN, and as incredible as postseason hockey is, I do think we need to be honest about the game's place in the American National Sports Digest.
Yes.
So let me explain myself. Much like Major League Baseball, the NHL has some massive regional followings, but it no longer feels like it's ever going to be that consistent national sports topic. Andy, would you agree that we only have 2 national sports in football and basketball right now?
No, 2. No, we have 1. It's called football, the NFL. Wow. The NFL is king. Like, you were just there. For 3 days in Las Vegas, right. They just read names off of note cards, and people traveled in from all over the country with their shirts like, I wonder what name's going to be read next. Do you think it's going to be the name we've never heard of? We can cheer for this
when you put it like that.
The NFL is king, and it showed it in Las Vegas. It shows it all off season long. Like, the NFL is here. Basketball is climbing back up here. It's great. Baseball, you can't see my hand. It's down there. It's down there. Thanks to Rob Manfred, the Oakland A's, Cincinnati Reds. And then you got hockey right down there too, which is fine. Hockey's great where it is, because if it got bigger, like, people would be like, oh, they're brawling, this can't happen. Like, playoff hockey is some of the best moments in sports. And this time of the year, we got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, so much sports on TV. But yes, the NFL is king.
Yeah, and going off that, my conversation with Raiders' Darren Waller, I asked him why I saw so much Golden Knights gear in my time in Vegas compared to Raiders gear, and he literally called the Raiders the Clippers of Vegas. So I do think it is important to note that it does vary from different city to city, what we see on a national level. So speaking of football.
Also with the Raiders, though, Mackenzie, sorry for interrupting you, all their fans live in Los Angeles.
That is very true. Very true. Note that. But speaking of football, we move on to thing number 3, to mentor or not mentor. So the NFL draft is in the books, and while the rookie quarterback class was rather underwhelming, there are a few guys in unique situations. So we saw Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh. No one may have more eyes on him, though, than Malik Willis in Tennessee. He was regarded as a top quarterback prospect with the highest ceiling, but someone who does need time to develop. Willis joins the Titans, who does have the 34-year-old quarterback Ryan Tannehill with them. He's very entrenched in that quarterback 1 position. And here's what he had to say to the media this week about the whole situation. Quote, "We're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns along the way from me, it's a great thing." So Andy, Tannehill is by no means the first veteran quarterback to act like this. We saw Big Ben do it. We saw Brett Favre refuse to mentor any young quarterbacks. Tannehill is taking some heat from this, but my question to you is, should he? Is this a role that he has to take on?
No, this isn't real. This is fake news. This is what happens in May when the draft is done and we're waiting for football to pick back up in July. Like someone says something, everyone's like, "Oh, we got to talk about this. Is he going to be a mentor? Is anyone a mentor?" Like these are professional athletes. Like rookie quarterbacks and younger quarterbacks don't need the starting quarterback to quote unquote mentor them. They're going to learn along the way from watching how the starter handles himself at the professional level. And also, if you've ever watched Hard Knocks and the in-season Hard Knocks last year, especially, you saw how much these guys meet in their position meetings. So they're going to meet with their quarterback coach a lot. They're going to meet with the offensive coordinator a lot. They're going to be working with the quarterbacks every day of their lives. Like, what do they need to do? Have the starting quarterback invite them over for casseroles and film study every night?
Casserole, though.
This isn't high school football. These are professional athletes who are making a living from this. And like the term mentor, does he need to mentor him? No, but I think he will just by his everyday presence and what you can learn from watching. I learn a lot from watching you, and I do call you my mentor. And so but you don't consider yourself my mentor because we're professionals, and that's what's going to happen with all the young quarterbacks in the NFL.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.